Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this file. This file is a little bit deceiving. They're going to print it on like a maroon or purple shirt, but you can see there's still maroon in the background, regardless of what color you put behind it. So this needs to change so it's transparent, much like my example I've already done. So you can see that it's transparent, so no matter what color you make, so they're direct to film. They're going to print this, so they want to just print it in white, and then whatever color shirt they will show through the lettering. So this is a little bit different than any other video I've ever made on this type of subject. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take away our color for a second, and I'm going to extend out my box. So the bats are perfect in this case, but if we make everything white, the bats are going to blend in. So what we have to do is ungroup it. And I'm going to change our nudge factor to 4 inches. And for the one I'm doing it for, change your duplicate distance to 0, 0. I think you'll be a lot happier. Now I'm going to take my box and make it more. And I'm going to take my bats and move them over. And I'm actually going to move these. Whoop. That shouldn't have done that. Oh, it's just trash. So I'm going to take this and move it over. Take this and move it over. Because I want those in there in a minute. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to left click, right click, and I'm going to change it to a hairline just so it's better. And then I'm going to take these parts and I'm going to nudge them. Well, you know what? I can just nudge them into the white. Whoop, just don't let me forget them. So now, and see, there must have been 2 sets of them. So I'm going to get rid of that other, go up to object, break curve apart. See, that way, they were part of a curve. Go up to object, break curve apart. Because I want to be able to use those. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and move this one over where it's equal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click, right click, and you can see that they contoured, but the text is not welded. You know, the letters are running into each other. We need to weld it. So I'm going to grab this whole thing, and I'm going to go up to object and break the contour apart. And then I'm going to grab the contour. I'm going to move it out of the way. Now, when we select the text, none of the weld tool shows up. But in this case, it really needs to be welded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and there's another weld tool under Object, Shaping, and Weld. And now it welded the text. So it's all one piece. Now let me move my contour back over. So if we fill this in with white and fill the bats in with white, the bats are going to be touching and won't be distinguishable. So I'm going to move the bats back, and I'm going to fill in, and I'm going to go ahead and use white. So I'm making a new object, but you want to get all the pieces of the bat that would be showing through the letters. Now what I can do is I can take this and group it together. Grouping it together is going to allow me to contour all of them at once. I'm a little bit concerned about that touching, but I think it'll work. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to go to effects, and I'm going to contour. I'm going to contour to the inside with rounded corners, 0.03. And see, that worked perfectly. Now I'm going to move them over, and I'm going to fill this in. Matter of fact, I can get rid of my other bats, other parts of my bat. Just make sure you get all of them. And now I can fill this in with white. And that's why I moved this out of the way so it wouldn't be contoured. And I'm just going to grab that and move it over twice, And the reason I'm having to move them twice because I moved them. I might have to move them another time. Yep, I'm going to have to move them. So I moved them over 3 times, but I can grab them and put them all over there. See, now there's a little space between there. And we want them white anyway, so we're just going to leave them white. But I need to, can we see our little, yes, tops of our bat. So now, you know what, let's change the color to something else just so we can see a little bit better. See, so everything white is going to print everything because we have that yellow behind there. Let's take away the yellow. Matter of fact, let's just get a new box. Make it big enough for our bats. And let's make it blue. And go up to Object, Order, back a page. And see now everything's transparent. Maybe blue wasn't the best color. Let's make it yellow. And let's take the Smart Fill tool, set on white again. And for the one I'm doing it for, you know, you want to decide whether you need RGB or CMYK. I think you need CMYK for your direct to film, but I'm going to just use any white. And see, because of the way we welded that, we have very few lines. And I'm just going to go through here and fill in these parts. Now, this one is a little bit different because it actually has 2 sets of line, but we're going to fill in that one. And then in just a second, we're going to take away our outline. I think we're done. So now I'm going to grab it all and I'm going to right-click No Outline. So now, no matter what color they print the shirt on, it's going to look like that. Because they're just printing the white. And I got some garbage right there. And I've already sent her the file, and this will be exactly, she just was curious how I did it. So it's a few more steps than normal, but it's a really neat logo, and you know, it doesn't matter what color shirt you print it on, that's what it's going to look like. You know, if you print it on a black shirt, you know, a red shirt, that's what you're going to see. So the t-shirt material or the shirt material is going to be the red, and you're just printing the white. Anyway, I hope that helped her a little bit, somebody in the future, and thank you for watching.